with that being said, it's the most difficult part of the journey. Attachment is the most difficult part of the journey. And in the beginning, it's true, we have to with discernment, understand, what are we doing in excess? What are we owning in excess? What are we eating in excess? So these are the disciplines that help us to slowly bring in that that detachment from the material world. And then as we go deeper into the journey, we slowly and slowly become detached to everything else. So basically, attachment is still from the aspect of fear and not being fully grounded on your spiritual path. So when you're fully grounded on the spiritual path and you start to understand just that tiny taste of, oh my God, I'm something more than this body. I'm something more than the house, than my children, than the car, than my job. That's when you realize that everything else is just immaterial, and nothing actually exists. Everything is within you. Everyone is just an extension of an experience that lies within you. And slowly that attachment starts to fade. The further you go in your journey with faith and sincerity, it starts to happen very naturally, where you move away from the attachment of things and people. I've had my own experience with that when I started my journey. My children are the most important thing to me. Like, I think all mothers would agree. And I remember the first time when I had to go to Vipassana, and it was 10 days of silence, no contact with the children. They were 16 and 14, and to have to leave them without contact. And I thought, like, you know what? I went all the way to South Africa, to Cape Town, to do it. I gave my phone in, and something said to me, no, take your phone and go home. You can't stay away from your children. But sitting in those 10 days, and when you get to taste that trickle of divinity within you, oh, everything changes. And now I even leave my children, travel to South Africa, travel wherever I need to go, without fear or without the attachment that I used to have. So as we go on our spiritual journey, all this starts to happen on its own. But discipline in the beginning is essential.
Yeah, I do have noticed that the more I read about, like Vazhipaadu, the more you get detached. It automatically comes. You just feel that it manifests whatever you are reading, whatever God is telling you, it manifests in not being attached to the, even if there's a burst of attachment, then you come back and you don't feel hurt, or you don't feel you feel like letting go. That is the thing. You feel like letting go of whatever it is. So
absolutely. And the further you go on your journey, the more you detach.
Yeah. This one poem written about Karuntai Vijayalakshmi on attachment. So though it is personal, I feel it is relevant, maybe, because we all have children and we are attached to the children. So I will just read it. Forsake attachment. Addressing Vijayalakshmi, wife of Gujarat, Sage Agastya sang. Bowing to the Lord, the epitome of knowledge, let me tell you, good woman, listen. It was I who gave the Om to Tamil. Ask, why did I give it? I will explain what you have heard in beautiful Tamil. Listen. Think of the reason why you were born as a father or a mother. Listen to the truth, but for a moment, and you will understand. Ask, who are these girls that you gave birth to after keeping them in your womb for 10 months? Did you ask? Let me tell you, listen. It is the fruit of their own virtue that these were born in the place that I reside. The mistakes that they made, the penitent virtues, sins and virtues, when these remain at their side, why then this attachment? Why then this love? Rip it away from its roots. Once they experience the effects of their actions, good news and favorable time will come. Until then, can anyone change their fate? It is not possible by me, by you, or anyone. Fulfill your duty with love and responsibility as long as you live, ensuring that everything in you evolves. I will show you the way to reach the banks. Catch that river that is running helplessly in the flood of life. Tie it with a rope and stop it. Look towards God and proceed. Caught in the web of attachment and affection, letting slip the fruits of your efforts, if you go upward empty handed, you will return verily soon. Experiencing suffering, forgetting God, do not go anywhere else. Hold on to His feet. Strive for God realization. This is the eternal truth.
This is so beautiful. And I think it's so true because as parents, I believe that the only duty we have to our children is to bring them in the world to experience their own karmas and to complete their own karmas. We're just a vessel to bring these souls to finish off their karmas. And whilst they're with us, because they do choose the families that they want to be born into, so whilst they're with us, we can plant the seeds that they would need, the tools that they would require for the journey, and watch their path unfold. And if we truly have faith in the Creator, in God, in Shiva, in Appa, if we can love Shiva, God, Appa, in the same way that we love our children, then without a doubt, there will be no attachment because we will know that they are taken care of. Their journey is taken care of by the divine. And as ours is taken care of by the divine, so is our children's. And I also believe that as human beings, we want to, as moms, as fathers, we want to control our children. We want to instill our ways on them. But as human beings, we have fallen short many a times. Look at this planet for one. God has given us this beautiful planet, and we have taken this, and now we want to be the drivers, and we want to control where this planet is going. And where have we put this planet? In the bush. We haven't taken this planet, we haven't made this planet progress. On the contrary, it's digressed. But if we leave it in the hands of the divine, if we leave our children in the hands of the divine, like the birds leave their little eggs and their little homes that they make in the hands of the divine, then we have nothing to worry about. Absolutely nothing. But when we want to control even our children, I think we have a tendency to drive in the wrong direction with them. So we allow them to allow their karma and their journey to unfold, and for them to learn the lessons that their soul has come here to learn, and for them to finish their karmas so that the next life they will be free of these karmas. And wherever we can support, we can support. With whatever wisdom, whatever knowledge we have to support, we can support. But if we surrender them to the divine, then and plant the seeds, then they will have the tools directly from Him to be able to guide them on their journey. So yeah, and that allows us to detach further and further from them.
That will also help us in our spiritual path. By allowing them to live their lives, to live out their lives, we also will,
It makes our load lighter, so that we can also hold the hand of the divine and we can ascend faster.
So here in this poem, Appa says that you let go of the rope. Why are you holding on to the rope? So we have to let go. Then only we can progress. Otherwise, we ourselves will be caught in the whirlwind of life.
Absolutely. And if we can hold on to the rope that upper is on the other side of, then I think we are doing a great justice to ourselves and to. And I think in these days, this is what we are lacking. We are lacking total surrender and total faith in the divine. No matter how much of chanting, no matter how much of temples and how much of rituals we are doing, but we lack faith in the divine. And this is where we need to be in total surrender and have greater faith in the divine.
So one last topic in this session on meditation. Progress in spirituality. An elderly devotee, Mahadevappa, from a place called Attibele, asked Sage Agastya how far he had progressed on the path of spirituality. Sage Agastya gave a remarkably simple explanation. The fish swimming in water sometimes wonders if it is really living in water. The frog that is sitting on the banks of the river thinks that it is on land that it lives, and when it jumps into water, thinks it is water it lives in. Reflect on whether your situation is like that of a fish or the frog.
That is really beautiful, actually. And yeah, I think that just explains that we are the divine. We are the drop of the ocean. We are the divine. But we keep adjusting ourselves to the environment that we are in, and we forget that, in fact, we are the divine. He lives in us, and we are Him.
We have come to the end of that meditation topic. So I think before we move on to the next topic, Guru, if anybody wants to discuss anything or give out your own views, your own experiences. Hema, Veena, Ramesh. Shall I?
No questions today.
Hema.
No.
Actually, attachment with children, attachment with worldly things, we can easily live. Okay, I don't want, you can quit it. But attachment with children, especially when we feel that they are suffering before us, then at that situation, I think it is very difficult. I don't know really how to, and there we find it, I really find it very difficult. Though again, only prayers help us, so keep praying. But then too, that prayers, instead of going for a selfless prayer, it becomes for a purpose, which is not warranted, I think.
Absolutely. And just to let you know, sister, that if we have complete faith in God, even when we are praying, this is where I come back to my point of, we pray without faith. Because if we really believed in the divine, if we really had faith in our prayer, then what is there to fear?
That's true, but somewhere we lose the strength.
Yes, because we are human beings. We all go through that. And I totally understand where you are coming from. But this becomes our greatest obstacle on our spiritual journey, attachment.
I think basically we want to have control over, the way things are moving, the way our children's lives are panning out.
We
So-
want to have control. And again, you are talking, sister, about when our children are suffering, if we can change that thought to say, our children are not suffering, but they are meeting out their karma. They are paying for whatever karma. At least I know their next life they won't have to suffer, to go through the same karma. If we look at that suffering as the divine lessons to make their souls lighter for the next life, if we look at those things as God's way of blessing them to clear those karmas for a lighter life in the next life, maybe if we just change our perspective, this could start helping us understand that our children are not suffering. God is being so kind to them. Appa is being so kind to them. In front of our eyes, He is making them meet out all these karmas, and so that in the future of this life and the next lives, they won't have to undergo all these situations again. So we just change our.
In Vazhipaadu, Appa actually gives a beautiful, beautiful explanation on this. And he says, who are they? Who are you? Everybody is a soul. And whatever they're going through is because of their own virtues and their sins. And when their virtues or sins are with them and they're undergoing it, why do you weep? They need to undergo that. If they don't pay off the karmic debt now, they'll have to come back and pay it with interest.
Absolutely.
So, think of everybody as souls. The problem here is we identify ourselves with each of our human interactions as something very personal. Our ego comes into play. They become, like, okay, that's my husband, that's my daughter, that's my son-in-law, that's why we go through pain and suffering, because we see them and they're like identifying ourselves with them. So as Jnanis, as Appa said, begin to see everybody as souls. But at the same time, I heard you all talking about having faith in prayers. But there's something very important that Christ taught us. When he was on the cross, he was realized. He was a realized master. What did he say? Father, have you forsaken me? Now, that is a great lesson, because as long as we remain on this earth, we are subject to Maya, illusion, and Maya is very strong. It's a very strong force. No matter the greatest Jnani has to come under the influence of Maya. So even Ramakrishna Paramahamsa had to maintain one desire so he could remain on this earth. So as long as you remain on this earth, you're subject to Maya. And to become liberated while living is really hard, but we are on the path.
Absolutely. We keep trying.
Anu ma'am, I have one doubt. Many times, even in the Appa's book, there is written, you need not have to recite any sloka or anything. Just meditate. If that is the case, why did I've seen so many slokas written by Agastya himself? I used to wonder, so many is written. Then he's advocating, don't read all this.
You know why? Because we are on the path of Jnana Yoga. What Appa has given you, even though it looks very simple, it is the highest path. It is the path that if you are prepared, you can walk on the path of the Siddha. And that is the highest among all, levels of meditation or the goals that people have to become a Siddha. That is to be perfect while living. Why did Appa give all those mantras? Mantras do have power. But as Appa says, a priest can chant a mantra 100 times each day. A scholar can chant a mantra perfectly. But what happens? Do they become realized? No. But I can tell you something. When you meditate, when you become aligned to Appa's energy, you will be called to a mantra. You will be called to listen to a mantra or chant a mantra. And that will be more effective. Even just listening to the mantra, because it will reveal its inner secrets to you. I have said this over and over again about Lalita Sahasranama. There's so much hidden esoteric truths in that. The entire key of creation is in that great shloka. But how many people realize that? So it is like Appa says, praying without faith, chanting without mantra is like throwing water on a stone. What happens? Nothing. The water falls down, the stone remains the same. So the point here is meditate, don't have to chant. Gajraj Swamigal did not know any mantras, absolutely none. When he went up to Podugai Hills, it was cold and he was so innocent. He didn't even take like a real big jacket. He just took a sweater with him. And you know how cold it gets on the top of the hills. And those days they were allowed to they stay there. There was no restrictions. So these three yogis were there. Jnanananda Swamiji was meditating and chanting. The other Ramaswamy Yogacharya was also meditating. And Gajraj Swamigal, being as simple as he was, lay down, curled up, and all he said throughout the night was, Appa, Appa, Appa. And you know what Appa said? The next day he said, that time when you chanted my name, without thinking of anybody else, without thinking of anything else in the world, you were more connected to me. See, that is the point. The point is, chanting of mantra without understanding, without faith, has no effect. You must chant it with knowledge. And even if you do not chant a mantra, if you have faith, there is the same result. So Aditya Hridayam was given to Rama because Rama was able to understand the power behind Aditya Hridayam. So Lalita Sahasranama was more like a discussion between Hayagriva and Agastya. These were all given to the world. In Satya Yuga, it was possible for people to understand this. It was possible for people to explain this. In Kali Yuga, it doesn't work the same way. The same rules don't apply for all the 4 yugas. It changes depending on the way the consciousness of the world is. Right now, the consciousness of the world is steeped in a lot of ignorance. Look around you and you will see it. You will see it in the people, how they express, how they speak, how they behave, even in social life. When we are in such deep ignorance, trying to just chant a mantra 108 times, 1008 times, it'll help you focus. I mean, if you're able to, like Brother Ramesh was so very candid and so beautifully, he said, I chant Gayatri Mantra 108 times, but by the time I finish, I have gone around the world and come back. So see, that was candid. That was beautiful. He's showing that is exactly what happens most of the time. How many times can you say, I have chanted a mantra 108 times and I have thought only about what the mantra's meaning was. I was thinking only of the divine. Therein lies your answer.
And if I may add to that, I think also Appa has given chanting because it is the beginning point to help train the mind to focus. Because some people cannot just sit down and meditate. So he's given the mantras, and the mantras carry energy. So again, if it's done with utmost faith and understanding, the mantra creates a vibration. It creates a vibration within your being. It helps the mind focus. It builds your concentration. And again, as Amma has said, whatever of Appa's chants come to you is the one that you're meant to chant. So mantras, this is the purpose of it in this day and age. But the ultimate goal is to sit in meditation and concentrate one-pointed focus on the divine, and not just in thought, but in feeling, in whatever way, but complete focus. This is what meditation is about. So it is not wrong to chant. If you feel that you cannot sit and keep the mind empty and concentrate on the breath and focus on Appa or whichever deity and feel that deity within your being, then start with the mantra. Let that allow you to build your focus. And when you feel some energy has been evoked within you, then maybe the next day try to sit in a meditation. And if you still can't concentrate, go back to the mantra and then just continue back and forth until you reach the final destination.
Before we, and another 5 minutes is there. Sister, I just wanted you to explain a little bit more on, what you posted in the morning. I'm looking for it. I want to share also again that whatever you say or do affects only you. Once we fully understand this, I believe a big shift will happen within you.
Okay. Yes. So whatever we speak, whatever we give, because we are energy and whatever we are giving out is energy, and that energy affects you because those words, those thoughts, they're coming out of your body, they're coming out of your soul. So that is it. This is what you are full of. If you have good thoughts, you have kind words, this is what your vessel is full of. And because it is energy, when energy is spoken into the universe, then whatever energy we give out comes back to us. So whatever we say, whatever we do, that energy affects only you. As each person, as another person will say and do, energy affects only them. So this is why I say we should be very cautious of what we speak, how we behave, how, what our thoughts are, because that energy comes back only to you. That energy is coming out of you, that energy comes back to you. Anything else? Anybody needs any more clarification? That makes sense? So if we just understand that we are energy and everything around us is energy, animals are energy, plants are energy, our homes are energy, our energy, everything is just made from it. So when we give energy out, energy.
It can be both, isn't it? Positive as well as negative.
It is both. Not can be, it is both. Whatever energy you give out, that energy only will. It affects you. And this is how we create karma. We think by kicking somebody, kicking your neighbor and having a few words with your neighbor, this is the only thing, okay, it's the act that creates the karma. It is true, the act creates the karma, but it is the energy of the act. Because even the act is energy. So it comes back to you. Because whenever you speak, even I am speaking to all of you. In fact, I'm speaking to myself. Because this energy these words are vibrating within me. So this energy is coming back to me. So whatever we do, if we want to label it positive or negative behavior, whatever, it comes back and it affects only. And this is how we create our fun.
Yeah, and thank you for that. I think you can explain a little bit of what you do on Wednesday mornings. You were saying that you talk to your.
Yes, so I had this beautiful vision to hear Appa's words with the beautiful souls who take my bid. And they are all pure people. But at first I was a bit like, no, maybe they won't understand. But Appa, he came to me and he said, no, you must speak to them. And every Wednesday morning, normally I give them I give them coffee and biscuits. I have a chat with them, and I just thank them for the beautiful work they do, and may God bless them and all. This week, Wednesday, I was like, I'm going to make that conversation different, and I took Appa's book, Amma sent to us, Agastya Vazhipaadu, and I went outside and I showed them this book, and they said, "What is this book?" it's got morals in it. And I said, yes, it has beautiful morals in this book. And well, unfortunately, they can't speak very good English. They can't read English. But with my not very good Creole, we managed to understand each other and we had such a beautiful conversation. And they are now looking forward to next Wednesday, what we are going to talk about while they have their coffee. And so I was thinking, like, I must choose something. I mean, I can't give them too much, like on meditation, all that. But at least if I make them understand little things like why are we born? Why do we suffer? What is the path going forward? And make a difference in their life. And if they want more, then they know where I live. They can always come and ask for more. So I'm on this of planting the seeds. I've had this download from Appa to plant the seeds, plant the
I think
time is up, no?
no, she's this one her thing froze. Yeah, time is 1 minute is there now, 1.5 minutes. So thank you. Yeah.